in January, I believe it was, Sina ordered the custom-built wooden shelving that is in there now, and it's something that she'd wanted to do for a while, was to get some lower shelves for the reference materials, so you can kind of like set the book on top of it, look at it, rather than having this kind of like enclosed, hard to reach things. Are, you know, they're heavy books, so it makes that a little bit easier to use. It looks a lot nicer, so that's all set up. Those books that are going to be on those shelves are out of the addition building, so the next phase of that is shifting everything so that it'll fit in that space a little bit better. It was pretty crowded with the extra reference books in there, so that'll be the next phase of that piece. So that's shelving, and then our other project over the summer is, of course, always rolling over the book budget to the new fiscal year. So I kind of start that off going over the last year's budget, what worked, what didn't, what are the upcoming prices that we know about looking like, especially for databases and other very large ticket items, and kind of making some decisions on how those numbers are allocated. I don't decide how much we get, but I decide where it goes. And then once that's set, Kathy put all of those into our integrated library systems so that we can track our spending throughout the year. And then once that's done, then we buy stuff. So we are Rachel and I are full on buying everything we want right now. So that's exciting. We have our new summer books and movies. So any questions about either of those items?
Thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move on to item 7D, the creative learning update.
Virginia Evans, Creative Learning Manager, for the record. I haven't met half of you, so hi. When it was time to make this report, I didn't have much to report, but now I have more, so I'm going to be adding in a little bit. We did send the Makerspace van to the airport for the open house airport. They had a great turnout. They were working with STEM. The kids had to fold paper airplanes and test them and then refold and see if it went further and why did it go farther. And then we had karaoke night, which was the first program that I personally led, so I knew more about it, so I wrote about it. And it was great. We ended up having 17 people attend, which is pretty good for our library programs, and everyone was singing and laughing and cheering and having a great time. But I just had to leave a little bit early from our coding camp, and we chose ages 12 through 17. We had 10 attendees out of 14, so good attendance. The kids started programming with Carol and worked all the way up through today. They programmed or coded and printed a drone and were able to attach, and they were all flying their drones. It was very cool, very exciting to see the progress in just 3 days. And I got some videos, so I'll be posting it on our Facebook page. But yeah, Summer Learning Challenge is going great. We're having lots of participants there. And our end of Summer Learning Challenge will be August 14th. We've booked a couple dancers, which you guys heard about earlier this evening. They'll be coming again, and yeah. So, any questions?
And I have one addenda to the open house program at the airport that went over very well there. We had Travis, who has been doing a lot in our makerspace, not only when it was mobile, but now that we have the one anchored in the library itself. We made a very interesting connection when we were there with one of the aviation groups that is doing a major remodel, or I guess reconstruction of a vintage World War II trainer. And they had found out that we have are able to digitize objects and have 3D printing capabilities. They came to us with an item that was mostly tape, maybe a little fiberglass in there, that was a scoop, for a little air scoop that's on this particular trainer that is completely unobtainable anywhere else. So we were able to, it took us a couple of tries because of the shape and some things, but we were able to produce a digital file for them to use, and also print a usable copy of it, or a usable version of it, with the 3D printer, our newest printer, the Ultimaker. So, and it was a fascinating interaction to come from that, and, they're looking for future interactions and, having us out there doing tours or whatever we want to do with at the airport. So was just a really cool little interaction that comes from, and those type of things do come from our outreaches. So fun little report.
That's really interesting. Is the Ulta, is that the UV printer?
No, the Ultimaker is also a filament printer.
Okay.
But as opposed to the MakerBot, the Ultimaker can use different types of filament. The MakerBot was PLA only, and the Ultimaker can do ABS and a number of others. So yeah.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Virginia and Diane. And let's see, with that, item 7E was already covered by Amy. And so we will move on to item 8, board members' announcements and requests for information. Did any board members have any items that they wanted to bring up at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 9, public comment. If any members of the public wish to address the Library Board of Trustees, now is the time. Seeing none forthcoming, we will move on to item 10, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.